Oh, hi. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. But if you follow me on the old Discord, and you should, it is a fun place. You'll actually know that I've had a lot of what's the word? Tech problems lately. My entire hard drive crashed, and that means that I've lost like most of the things that I had. A lot of the stream backgrounds, a lot of the settings for streams were saved, and they're not here anymore, and I don't have them. So I fixed everything I could. I did the best I could. Here I've got my hard drive right here. So it's a lovely little hard drive, but it cooked. Valor, thanks for being here. Hi. It ran so hot for such a long time that the plastic right in here cooked and then broke off. So I don't know if you can see it, but the see how it's all jammed the fuck up right there? See that? That's cooked. All these little pins are bendable. No, it's not a solid state drive. Why would I have a solid state drive? I built this computer in 2011, okay? And it's going to continue working forever, obviously. And so, yeah, it broke. And because I broke it, it didn't function anymore. A lot of my settings and stuff like that were saved there. So the PC of these, yeah. That's why I like PCs rather than laptops or something like that, because I can just put in a new part, I can replace the thing, and it is the PC of Theseus, absolutely. So, yeah, I installed that hard drive like 2011 or something, and then I updated the drivers in 2015, so it should be fine. But apparently, it's not fine. The lovely lady Knooch, who usually reads out your stuff, I haven't been able to re-find wherever the hell I downloaded that software, so there will be no TTS today. I'm sorry. I'll work on it. The start screen, if you noticed, some of it is still there. That one photo of Gamagori is easy to find, and that's cool. Rest in peace, Knooch. Yeah, she died a while back, but maybe the original Knooch can come back. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm working on it. Then what else do we have to think about? A lot of the I might be able to get some of those photos back that I had up on the screen, and the bouncing emotes are still here because that was set on the web. You see, the bouncing emotes are still there, so pop those in, and it'll be fun, and I'll bite at them like an animal. Then, all the settings on some of the Kick and the Twitch and the YouTube settings. Some of those stayed, some of them didn't. So I've got, if anything is off, just let me know, and that's what they are now. I don't see my Twitch stream on the stream manager, and that makes me nervous. There it is. I had to F5 it. Okay, it's back. It's good. It's there. So that has been my life for a week, is just trying to find the things. And then on this old hard drive, I also have like baby pictures and what's the whole long form like resume for applying to jobs and stuff like that. So those are gone. All my cool wallpapers are gone. I had lots of cool wallpapers, and those are gone. I'm gonna have to rebuild all that. And that's really the only things that I lost that I'm sad about. And then scans of Berserk, but I haven't gotten around to reading it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because I'm a terrible person who pirates things. And you shouldn't do that. It's bad. It's bad, okay? And that is it. And then, all the Bobo pictures are saved on the Discord. You can go to the Discord and still see the Bobo pictures. It didn't link the Discord when I did the Discord, so I'm going to have to fix that too. Discord. It doesn't do the thing. It does it in chat, but not on screen. Weird. I suppose if you were in chat, you could see it. Weird. Okay, I'm going to have to try and fix that too. It's just the tiny settings, It's the little things that are a little bit off. And, the volume settings, I think I had you can, okay, but I don't see it on screen. Weird. I can't point. It's hard to point to if it's not on the screen. You see, I point to it. I do this right here, and I'm like, go to this Discord right here. Go to this Discord right here. Does it do the YouTube? YouTube. Maybe it leaves out the links. Yeah, maybe I turned the links on so these would show up. Interesting. So It doesn't do that, but it does it in the chat. Okay. So yeah, little things, tiny little things that are saved. I think I had a noise suppression gate set up too, but I didn't have time to fix that and set that back up. So maybe we get a lot more dog noises today. I can hear them right now. I don't know if you can, but Bobo the baby bark boy is a barkin'. That's what he does because he is a barka boy. So maybe those work, maybe they don't. Maybe my volume is wrong. Maybe my volume is too high, maybe it's too low. I don't know. I did the best I could with the settings. It took me years to finally craft exactly everything in my stream to be as jank and shitty as it was. And starting over, you forget which jank and shitty setting you put in which jank and shitty mode. So things might change a little bit. Things might get a little bit better. Might get a little bit worse. I don't know. And that is my life. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for telling me what you're thinking. What are we going to do? We're going to look at the politics today. As usual, today is Saturday, so I'm going to turn all of these little segments into YouTube videos and then post them up on the YouTube, and then the YouTube can use the algorithm to make people pay attention to me. And and that is the goal, isn't it? To just make people pay attention. Let's see, where do we want to start? Oh yeah. Okay. So as the title suggested, I do think it's a good idea to rename the Department of Defense into the Department of War. Let's look at it. Let's pay attention to it. Let's see what we're talking about. Let's go starting thing. We go to the web view, and then we turn on the window capture, and then we drag it to right here. Bam. Nailed it. Okay. We're starting off on a good foot. Well, it's the wrong size, but why is it the wrong size? Got to resize the windows. Resize the windows. Okay. Then we're going to control scroll in a little bit so that it's bigger. And then when we put it on the screen, it looks nice. There we go. Okay. Here we go. This is old Pete Keg's breath telling us what's what.
Clarity as an end state. Restoring victory and clarity as an end state. Restoring intentionality to the use of force. So at your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense.
Offense. You ready to go to war, boys? It's going to be good. Let's do some offense, as if we haven't been doing offense for the past 100 fucking years.
Maximum lethality.
Maximum lethality. This guy is a fucking chud. He really is. He thinks that being in the military is just badass. And that's what we need, is more badasses. We don't need diplomacy. That's for pussies. Okay? Talking things out, describing, and coming to an agreement, that's for wieners. What we need, maximum lethality.
Not tepid legality.
Not tepid legality. No. We don't want to settle our problems in some sort of international court. Ugh, yuck, that's for nerds. Pete Keg's breath is not a nerd, goddamn you. When Kamala says that was a joke, please don't judge me. Yeah. Nerds. He's not a nerd, and he's telling you he will not be a nerd, but he's the peace president. Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that in a minute. Diplomacy is nerd shit. He doesn't do nerd shit. He does action, violence, not legality. He doesn't care about your legal terms. Yuck. Gross. Tepid legality? No. We're not going to do legality around here. We're doing violence, shock, awe, lethality.
Violent effect, not politically correct.
Violent effect, not politically correct. Boss, there's an important word in politically correct. It's correct. We're going to do wrong things violently, and you won't be able to stop us, because if you try to use the law or political correctness to stop him from hurting people, he will hurt you.
We're going to raise up warriors, not just defenders. So this War Department, Mr. President, just like America, is back. Thank you for restoring.
When the American people see this, and see some of them saw this, but not many, when they see what it becomes, far more violent, far more aggressive, far more dangerous, far more Americans dying, far more foreign people dying, they will reject it. That is why I'm okay with the idea of changing the name of the department from the Department of Defense to Department of War. It's more accurate, first of all. That's exactly what it always has been. The changing the name to Defense, while in the 1800s when they did it, they did restructure the Army and the Navy and all that fun stuff to put them under one command. Made sense. But they also changed the name. Why? Because people don't like war. They never have. Only idiot chuds like him like war. Only the people who haven't actually been to it like war. Idiots like war when they're sitting at home playing video games. Anybody who's actually been there doesn't like it. And most of the public doesn't like it. That's why I think this is fine. This will turn the people against the department. When it's a Department of Defense, they're all on board for it. $1 billion to the Department of Defense? Well, that's a good idea, says the normie middle-of-the-road voter. I want to be defended. I need to be defended. But $1 billion to the Department of War, the normie middle-of-the-road voter says, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I don't like war. I thought we were supposed to be having less war. I thought Donald Trump was the peace president. He's been bragging about getting a Nobel Peace Prize. He's been fighting to get one, but he makes more war every chance he gets. So once again, an army can openly understood as employed by and for the elite rather than the people. Yeah, and there is that. They definitely aren't doing things for your benefit. No. They're doing things for the benefit of the people in charge, for the money, the military-industrial complex. What is that noise? Do you guys hear that? I'm going to pause for a moment and find out what that high-pitched squealing noise is. It's probably my neighbors doing work or something. All right, I'm back. Yeah. Hi. How's it going? So yeah, that whistling noise was like a power drill or a sander or some damn thing outside. So I've closed the windows. It's going to get warm in here, but it's not too bad today. It's not too hot today. It's kind of cloudy out there, which is nice. Yeah, they didn't go for the Department of Peace, show something resembling restraint. No, I think the Department of Peace, renaming it from Defense to Peace, they would get called names. They would be called insults.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
You just turned a friggin' frog gay, Nizuki. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Proud of you. Let's see. Nick ZU. Oh, okay. Nick ZU. You just turned a frog gay. Proud of you. Driving around a Toyota Starlet Glanza. Did you know? That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, the Department of Peace, if they had named it Department of Peace, they'd have been called woke wimps, pussies, weaklings, wieners. They'd have been called names by the chuds. Okay, the chuds need that confidence. Donald Trump is a confidence man. That's the longer term for con man. He is a con man. He gives you confidence and then steals from you. That's what he's doing here. He needs the chuds, the idiots, the Republicans, to feel strong and powerful and important, and gives them confidence. But the other part of the confidence is asking for the Peace Prize. I know that he's been struggling to get it, and all of his sycophants have been calling for him to have it. And that's part of the con as well. He changes the name to war, but then if he gets the Peace Prize, his morons, his MAGA faithful, can tell me with a straight face that he's the peace president. You see, he got the Peace Prize. They can willingly lie. That gives them confidence to lie. It gives them confidence to say the thing that isn't true. It gives them confidence to say Donald Trump is the peace president. He just bombed Iran, and he bombed a boat, and he bombed a bunch of people, and he killed a bunch of North Koreans, and it doesn't matter, and he's attacking Venezuela, and he's trying to forcefully steal things from Canada, and he's trying to take over Greenland. But he's the peace president, you see, because he got the Peace Prize. This is confidence that he's giving them. And that's what con men do. They tell you one thing, and then they do the opposite. That's everything he's ever done. That is everything that describes Donald Trump. He says one thing, and then he does the opposite. But the people who like him love what he's saying. And that's the problem. They like what he's saying. The change of the name and the actions that Pete Hegseth will take won't be liked by the people. The biggest protests this country has ever seen tend to be about war. The Vietnam protests were about war. End the Vietnam War. People hated it. It was killing Americans for no damn reason. The reason we were there was nonsense. It was horseshit. And they didn't even call it a war. They called it a police action. Because the people don't like war. Obama even knew this. He didn't do the Iraq war. He did overseas contingency operations, you see? There's a difference. There's not. It's public relations. That's all it is. When Nixon called the Vietnam War a policing action, he was lying. When Donald Trump tells us that the Department of Defense becomes the Department of War, he's accidentally telling you the truth. Unintentionally, he's telling you the truth. He usually doesn't do that. But this truth makes his base feel good. So he'll do it. It makes them feel good. But it makes the normal voters, the people in the middle, not feel good. It makes them feel nervous. It makes them feel danger. You know, the civil rights movements were about violence and the people subjected to that violence. Then the people doing the civil rights protests were subjected to more violence, and that got on TV. This made the people in the middle go to their side, to the side of the civil rights protesters. The BLM movement, whatever you want to say about it today, and the right wing says a lot of horseshit about it, was sparked by violence. The public doesn't like violence. They never have. The right wing who pisses and moans, bitches and complains about the BLM movement, what are they complaining about? They're complaining about the violence that the protesters do. When Donald Trump sends troops into D.C., and when he promises to send them into Chicago, what are they there to do according to him? He's a liar, but what are they there to do according to him? Stop the violence. People don't like violence. And Pete Hegseth is a violent motherfucker. He always has been. He always will be, because he's never actually been to war. I know he was a soldier and he did some National Guard stuff, but he's never been in the shit. And it shows. If he had, he wouldn't be all for it unless he's a goddamn psychopath, in which case he shouldn't be in charge of the Department of War. He's pretty blatantly trying to bait literally anything. He wants a riot or a war of economic collapse and something he can get emergency powers. Yes, for sure. I believe you. He definitely does want those excuses. He wants those things. Pete Hegseth is one of the few people I know is violent just by his face. You can kind of look at him. And I think we got another video of him, don't we? I've got another video here of him being A violent jackass. Here we go. Here we go. Look at him. That's a psychopathic, violent piece of shit right there, isn't it? Let's hear what he has to say.
Trey, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
So a boat left South America and was coming north, and it probably did have drugs on it. This is a very common thing that happens. But what we usually do is send the Coast Guard or some sort of military asset on a boat, and the Navy and stuff like that, out there to sit in front of them, catch them, arrest them, take the drugs away. But Pete Hegseth doesn't have time for that nerd shit. That's soft. That's the tepid legality that he was talking about. Sending someone to interdict the drug smugglers is weak. He needs a goddamn Tomahawk missile to blow them up.
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone.
That's not a law. He didn't cite a law here. She asked what legal recourse.
Trey, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to
What legal authority did they invoke? They didn't.
strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct.
Doesn't that make you fucking nervous? That the guy in charge of the entire military says he has the authority anytime he fucking feels like it. Anytime he feels like it, he can invoke the military, because it's not about laws. It's not about rules. It's not about legality anymore. There are no laws in America. It's gone. It's done. It's over with. If Donald Trump stays in charge, there is only one law: make Donnie happy. And Donnie loves the idea of a drug boat getting blown up. That's good for his numbers. His base loves that idea. I remember when the Iraq war started, all the conservatives I ever fucking met told me we should glass Iran, glass Iraq, wreck the whole place, turn the desert into a fucking flat sheet of glass. Because they want all those people to die. They want all those people to hurt. They want all those people to suffer. Because that's conservatism, baby. Conservatism is about other people suffering. We have an absolute and complete authority to kill people based on convenience. Absolutely. That's what he's telling you. That is what he wants you to know, that he can use the military in any way he wants, and all he has to do afterward is say, defense. That's all he has to do. That's the only law. There's no rules. There's no laws anymore. There's no justification through the Constitution. That's all fucking over. He does what he wants. You can't stop him. You don't even know it happened until somebody reports on it. And then they tell you that it was for your defense, whether you like it or not. And this isn't a new thing. There is another thing that just popped up in the news the other day. Let's look at that. How SEAL Team 6 mission into North Korea fell apart. So this was in 2019. This is very old, but it just got brought to light. And it's exactly the same thing. Donald Trump sent SEAL Team 6 to North Korea. They killed some civilians. They failed their mission. And then they came back. And you didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it. Congress didn't know about it. Nobody knew this happened until today. Maybe yesterday when it popped off. They don't care about the law. All they have, all they are, all they want is their own power. Let's read this. What's it say? Why is it so small? Oh, I got to put on my storyteller voice because this is very cool. A group of Navy SEALs emerged from the ink-black ocean on a winter night in early 2019 and crept to a rocky shore in North Korea. They were on a top-secret mission so complex and consequential that everything had to go exactly right. The objective was to plant an electronic device that would let the United States intercept the communications of North Korea's reclusive leader, Kim Jong-un. Lightning. Editor Waldo, add some lightning. Amid high-level nuclear talks with President Trump. The mission had the potential to provide the United States with a stream of valuable intelligence, but it meant putting American commandos on North Korean soil, a move that, if detected, not only could sink negotiations, but could also lead to a hostage crisis or an escalating conflict with a nuclear-armed foe. It was so risky that it required the president's direct approval. For the operation, the military chose SEAL Team 6, Red Squadron, the same one that killed Osama bin Laden. The SEALs rehearsed for months, aware that every move needed to be perfect. But when they reached what they thought was a deserted shore that night, wearing black wetsuits and night vision goggles, the mission swiftly unraveled. North Korean boat appeared out of the dark. Flashlights from the bow swept over the water. Fearing that they had been spotted, the SEALs opened fire. Within seconds, everyone on the North Korean boat was dead. The SEALs retreated into the sea without planting the listening device. Very exciting. I know this is very fun. It's a start of a fucking Call of Duty game. But the 2019 operation has never been publicly acknowledged or even hinted at by the United States or North Korea. The details remain classified and are being reported here for the first time. The Trump administration did not notify key members of Congress. That's a thing that you're supposed to do, who oversee intelligence operations before or after the mission. The lack of notification here may have violated the law. And this is the point that I keep making. This is the reason I railed so hard against Donald Trump. He doesn't care what the law is. He doesn't even check the damn law before he makes a decision. He does what's good for him, and then he justifies it later. This is, May is doing some heavy lifting. Yes, it is. It is most likely illegal, but he doesn't care. It's only illegal if somebody presses charges and he's been found guilty of breaking the law. So has that always been how it is internationally? No, because there's Congress involved. If Congress is involved, it suggests that we made this decision together. The president who was elected got with his intelligence officials. They came up with a plan. The Congress was involved with it. And that way there's some oversight. There's some understanding. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. We can share that intelligence. And if anything goes wrong, we can figure out what went wrong. We could do some diplomacy. England brought natural gas from Russia, and we let them hold punishing other countries. We let them punish other countries. Yeah, and then that's if the president did that on his own, that would make me unhappy. If Congress approved that and made those decisions together, if Congress and the president make these decisions together with the backing of the intelligence community based on fact, that makes me happier. That makes a democracy. When the president gets to do whatever the fuck he wants, in any way he wants, that's not a democracy anymore. Did we vote for him? Yeah, this time we did. He might be running some more. He might run a third term, breaking the law. Again, it won't matter. He doesn't care what the law says. And that's what Pete Hegseth is doing too. This is authoritarianism. It's not democracy anymore. It's authoritarianism. He has the authority. Pete Hegseth told you he has all the authority he needs, and the authority is him. He has the authority. Doesn't matter what the rules are. Doesn't matter what the law is.
We have the absolute and complete authority to.
We have the absolute and complete authority. He will break the Constitution. He will hurt your First Amendment, and he will tell you that he has complete and absolute authority to do so. He will hurt your Second Amendment, and he will tell you, he'll look into the camera and tell you that he has the complete and total authority to do so. He'll take away every bit of fucking due process that you have. He's doing that to the immigrants right now. No, not him. He's not in charge of DHS, but the DHS is doing that to the immigrants. They're taking away due process. They're taking away constitutional protections. They're taking away rights from people. And they will tell you that they have the authority to do so. Because they are authoritarians. This is what they do. This is how they operate. This is how authoritarians act. And I was complaining about conservatism a moment ago. I will continue to complain about it. Because that's how we got here, is conservatives having feelings and refusing to accept that they have feelings. They don't like feelings. They lie to themselves. Conservatives have feelings towards immigrants, feelings of disgust, hatred, and fear. And then that's the first thing that they have. They have a react, feeling. I hate that. I hate those immigrants. I hate those gay people. I hate the abortion. It makes me feel icky. It makes me feel bad. And then step 2 is go look for some facts to back up your feelings. This is where you get the memes that they pump out all the time. Immigrant crime. 2 men can't have a baby. That's a fact. I recognize that's a fact, but it doesn't mean that they can't get married. They can, and because they take those facts to back up the feelings that they already had, they tell you that they put facts over feelings. They're liars. They don't know. Most of them don't know they're doing this because they listen to the right-wing news. They listen to the media. They listen to idiots on TV or the internet or the YouTube who tell them what to think. And those idiots already know. Well, the grifters know the feelings of the people, and they take those feelings. They give them the facts so that they can spit those facts at their friends or their family at Thanksgiving or at streamers. I get the conservatives in my YouTube comments all the time telling me facts that are sometimes true. Often they're misconstrued or misunderstood. And they use those facts to back up their feelings and take away the freedom of the people they don't like. That is the steps of conservatism. Have a feeling. Find a fact to back it up. Take away the rights of the people you don't like. Because that's what they do. American conservatives, anyway, today. You can make an argument for what conservatism was 100 years ago. I don't care. You can make an argument for what Hungarian conservatism is. I don't care. Right now, in America, the conservative movement does those 3 steps. Have a feeling. Find a fact to back up the feeling that you have. Take the rights and power away from the people you don't like. And what they don't like are the drug smugglers. What they don't like are North Koreans. What they don't like is every foreign country. And what they don't like is the woke people, the liberals, the leftists, the gays, the people who express their freedom. Because the conservatives want to take that away from you. They want to take your freedom away from you. Be conservative or suffer. That is the conservative movement as it stands now. Be conservative or suffer. We've got, let's see, the North Korea thing. Was there one more? Here we go. Here's Pete Hegseth again. So let's start from here. Libs of TikTok is run by a Nazi. And she found out that there was a Navy commander, apparently a medical director for transgender healthcare at a naval center in California. And then she found her on the internets. And so she told Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth updated her pronouns from she, her, and fired. Because she, Janelle Mara here, a medical doctor doing trans healthcare, isn't doing conservative things. So she must suffer. Be conservative or suffer. Pete Hegseth has harmed this person's career, her livelihood, because she's not conservative enough. Be conservative or suffer. That is conservatism now. And they are voting and backing up an authoritarian takeover of our country. And it's going to go really badly. You won't have freedom any longer. You will have only one choice. Be conservative. And if you choose not to be, well, we're going to have to tax you. And we're going to have to fire you. And we're going to have to create laws that hurt you and prevent you from doing the things that you used to be free to do. And that's actual hate crime. Yes, it is an actual hate crime. That's conservatism. Hate crimes. That's all they have. Hatred. They have feelings, and I know they have feelings of positivity, and there are things that they like. But they don't go to bat for things they like. They go out looking for things they hate. And when they find the things they hate, they point at it, they screech, and they do whatever they can to harm the person that they don't like, or the thing they don't like, or the organization that they don't like. He's not concerned about tepid legality. Yeah, exactly. He's fired this person for the thoughts they had. I don't know the details of this specific medical officer within the Navy, but there's a chance that they were assigned to do that job. The military does often assign you to do shit. They do tell you what to do pretty damn often. So it's entirely possible that they had a position to fill of transgender care, and they picked someone who could do it, and then that person did it, following orders. But if they don't like those orders, then they'll fire the person involved. Pete Hegseth will change the fucking rules. He'll change the standard operating procedure of that medical facility and say no more transgender care. Cancel it. Because they're fucking cancel culture. Doesn't this sound like fucking cancel culture to you? Doesn't it seem like cancel culture? This woman was doing a job that they politically don't appreciate because they're Nazis, and then they canceled her. It's cancel culture. Conservatives have always done cancel culture. They invented that shit. They always have done it. But they got pissy in 2010 when it started happening to them because they were fucking bigots. And when they got canceled for being bigots, they were like, we can't, you can't cancel us. We're the ones who cancel people. They got sad. They were miserable about this. They didn't like it. So let's see, where are we still talking about war? Do I have more links about war? Let's see. Hegseth. Yeah, here we go. GOP senator threatens Maduro. You have to make a call. Leave Venezuela, alive or dead. We're about to go to war with Venezuela. I don't know if you've known this. I don't know if you found out yet. I don't know if they've the mainstream media has told you, but we're about to go to war with Venezuela because who cares? Fentanyl or some dumb shit. They'll just make some shit up later. There's no good reason for it. We want to steal their oil. We want, Shinseto. That's why we're going to war. That's why we're going to war. But what will Donnie tell you? He'll tell you that we're going to stop the fentanyl or stop some fucking, or Maduro's a bad guy and we need to go in there and save the Venezuelans. Fuck the Ukrainians. They can fuck off. Fuck any other country that's having a fucking civil war right now. They can all just eat shit and die. Nobody cares. Venezuela. That's where it's important. And I don't think I'm a fan of Maduro. I don't know enough about international stuff. But I suspect that Maduro actually is kind of a bad guy. Republican Senator Bernie Moreno made a threat to Venezuelan authoritarian President Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. continues deploying assets off its coast. You have to make the call. Leave Venezuela alive or dead. Moreno also claimed Maduro had been using cocaine. Drug traffickers don't have to use the substance they sell. Maduro is using a lot of cocaine rather than selling it. He's a crazy man. Never sent him a message, but I do it now. Okay, well, let's do some diplomacy. But no, we're not going to try and figure out what their problem is. We're not going to try and figure out why they're doing the things. We're not going to try to figure out what the people want in Venezuela. No, we're just going to go to war. We're going to drop some fucking bombs, and then we're going to send the troops in there to steal their oil. I just Googled it. Does Venezuela have oil? Yes, they do. Venezuela, not a lot. It's not like Saudi Arabia or anything, but it's not even as much as America. But that's the trick, is you bomb somebody else, you take their resources, and then you have them, you see. That's Donnie's plan. He's going to set up the Department of War. They're going to go in there. They're going to bomb the shit out of an authoritarian, Maduro. Donald Trump is authoritarian. And they're going to ignore any of the authoritarians that are nice to them. Yes, Venezuela is the largest proven oil reserve in the world, holding over 300,000 barrels. Oh, that's news. I knew they had some, but I didn't know they had that much. Well, this makes even more sense now, doesn't it? We're going to go in there. We're going to disrupt their entire government. We're going to kill lots and lots and lots of Venezuelans. And then oil companies are going to jump in there, start drilling the oil, and selling it to Americans for cheap. And Donnie is going to look into the camera and tell you that he stopped a war. He needs a peace prize. He demands it. He needs to be recognized for the peace he caused. It's some 1984 shit, man. It really is. Like, that's why everybody keeps mentioning 1984. That's why everybody who's online mentions Orwell all the damn time, because this is exactly what was written. The Department of Love was about torturing people in that book. The Department of Peace was about blowing people up. It was another department. I forget which one it was. But the memory hole was to make things forgotten forever. Everything is backward. Everything is named the opposite of what actually does. And that's the way Donald operates. But accidentally, he's giving us the Department of War, which I think will make the people very unhappy with it. People don't want to pay for war. Let's keep reading, though. What does this say? There cannot be peace in Colombia and South America. If this crazy man doesn't leave, the Venezuelan people are far worse off because he's there. They're leaving the country. It's a mess. That's probably entirely correct, but I don't want to go to war with him. Maduro, on his end, said the regime is standing on the front lines against Nazi extremist movements coming from the north, a reference to the U.S. So the Nazis are coming after him, which is also not entirely wrong. Pete Hegseth is a Nazi. This guy is a Nazi. He's a fascist, but I don't know if they're Nazis. It's a Nazi extremist movement seeking to undermine peace in South America. They intend to continue attacking people's rights around the world. Maduro's not wrong here. It's a bad guy fight. He went on to say that Venezuela was attacked by Nazis between 1942 and 44. Under another narrative, we were attacked by the British Empire. They sent 21 ships to our people. We didn't have any resources, stood its ground with sticks and stones and knives and machetes, and we defeated them. We're not stupid. We will never be. I don't like Maduro, but I also don't like Republicans. And I don't like the idea that we would kill a bunch of them and then steal their resources. That's bad. That's some 17th century shit. Trump is Ozymandias. Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget me. I need your validation even after I'm dead. Yeah. Johnny's going to live on even after he's dead. And that did pop up the last week, didn't it? I missed all of the fun of him coming back to life, but I suspect that he had a stroke. You can have little strokes and recover after a couple of days. And I'm completely off the rails here, changing topics entirely. When the argument is technically they aren't Nazis, it's already a losing argument. I know. They're fascists, but the fascists plus a severe hatred of Jewish people makes you a Nazi. Do I think Pete Hegseth is a Nazi? Yeah, I kind of think he is. Is that senator a Nazi? He's probably only a fascist. I think Donald Trump is a fascist as well. I don't think he has a severe hatred for Jewish people. Stephen Miller, also a Nazi. Yeah, they don't know they're Nazis. They don't know. It's a disease. You can catch it. And Trassist. I'm trying to make a living. Trying to make it a thing. Trump plus fascist, and it sounds like trash. Trashist. It's not bad. A trashist. A Trump fascist. And it sounds like trash. You got something there. Any of it? You really do. I think you got something there. A trashist. And then that way they can't argue. They'll have to find out what it is. And then it leads to a bit of questioning. Be like, oh, what's a trashist? And then you get to explain it to them. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So yeah, we're going to war. But they won't even call it a war. I'm willing to bet that the Department of War does a police action and a rescue mission for the entire Venezuelan population who dies horribly under our bombs. It's going to be weird. It's going to be disturbing, and it's going to be a mess. And we're not going to do any diplomacy. And Shell and BP and fucking Exxon are going to jump in there and start pumping out all that oil, selling it for a profit. Because that's how Republicans operate. This is neocon shit. This isn't Trump shit. This is neocon shit. This is honestly some neo-lib shit too. The neolibs do love that kind of shit. They'll call it Operation Thundercock or something stupid like that. Yeah, they'll call it Operation Venezuelan Freedom. They'll give it a cool nickname, shock and awe, that kind of thing. They'll South American. What's a thing that happens in South America? I don't know. They'll call it Operation South American Dragon. They'll go in. They'll kill a whole bunch of civilians. They'll kill a whole bunch of troops, and they'll take resources from the people that live there and give them nothing. 17th century shit. And hey, we're also going to a civil war too. So don't forget about the civil war that's going on, where things stands with Trump National Guard threats to Chicago and other cities. So there's also the civil war going on. They gave them freedom. Exactly. We gave them freedom. Uh-oh. See this? We're gonna have to fix this. Look at the chat. Oh my God. Waldo, you son of a bitch. You broke chat. Okay, combo chat. We're gonna make its height back down to 700. Enter. Well, that didn't help. Why didn't it scroll down? I hate the internet. I hate streaming. All the buttons. They don't work. Let's type some things in the chat. How does that look? Bring it down just a little bit. There it is. Okay. All right. I think I fixed it. Lock it back in place. Okay. There we go. See, these are the little details that have to be reset every time I destroy my hard drive and have to get a new one. Yeah, don't forget about the civil war that's happening. Let's find out what the latest is. Chicago, Baltimore, and New Orleans are preparing for the potential arrival of National Guard troops in what may be the latest set of cities targeted under Donald Trump. Trump mentioned that all three cities this week as possible places for troop deployment in order to curb crime, though data shows that the crime has gone down in those cities. It comes after the use of National Guard in Los Angeles in June and Washington, D.C. in August. They didn't do anything. I watched live the troops in Los Angeles, and they did not lower crime. They stood around doing fuck all nothing. But that doesn't matter. The reality isn't interesting to conservatives, to MAGA faithful. They don't give a shit what actually happens. No, they give a shit about how it feels. They felt safe. Johnny told them and gave them confidence that they were more safe with those troops around, that he solved all the crimes in Los Angeles because he sent some troops there. And now they're solving all the crimes, preventing all the crimes in D.C. because the troops are standing around on the corners. He lies to you about people being able to go to restaurants. People aren't going out. The literal facts are that restaurants are seeing a dip in customers because people don't want to be out on the street. And Donald Trump tells you the exact opposite of that fact because he's a goddamn liar. All day, every day, nonstop. Goddamn liar. And his fans, the MAGA faithful, love that shit. They eat those lies up. They're delicious. Nom, 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 nom. I love the lies. It makes them feel better. They don't care what reality is. They care what their favorite main character lies to them about. And that's why you can't deal with them. That's why you can't argue with them. That's why you can't convince them to vote for good things. Because reality tastes like shit. And bullshit is delicious. Anyway, off topic. Let's keep reading. In Chicago, home of one of the largest Mexican communities in the U.S., organizers of a Mexican Independence Day celebration this weekend told NPR they plan to bolster their event with a large team of volunteers to distribute Know Your Rights cards. We won't let anyone get out of here. We won't let anyone rain on our parade, said Vicky Lugo, the lead organizer for the event in the city's Lower West Side. Vicky, I love you, and I'm proud of you. I hope you do stand against them. Please bring American flags. I know it's the Mexican celebration. Bring American flags. Okay? Because when the troops attack you, no, the troops aren't going to attack you. ICE is going to attack you. When the ICE attacks you and the troops are standing nearby, the American idiot in the middle of a cornfield in Nebraska will see a Mexican flag and feel like they're doing a good thing. The middle of the road moron voter in bumfuck Ohio will see ICE agents hurting brown-skinned people holding a Mexican flag, and that will make him feel good. That will make the median voter feel strong, good, and correct. They will feel like this is a good idea. This is a messaging situation. I know that you're doing it for Mexican independence. I'm on board for it. Bring American flags, for the love of God. It's about optics. It's about the way people see you. Politics is about being seen and heard. And if you're seen holding a Mexican flag while ICE hurts you, the middle of the road voter likes it. If you're seen holding an American flag and ICE hurts you, and you're dressed nice. This is why MLK Jr. and all of his people doing the marches dressed in their very nice suits, because it made them look like normal people. They were normal people, but it made them look more respectable. And if respectable people are being harmed by the police, we're not going to side with the police if good, respectable, decent people are being harmed by the police. No. But it's about optics. It's about being seen. Politics is about being seen. It's not about fucking ideas, man. It's not about being correct. Politics is about feelings. It's always based on feelings. And if you can portray those feelings, if you can convey those feelings properly, you will get more traction. You will get more people on your side. The Dems have forgotten this. They do not know that all politics are based on feelings. They don't know it. And they continue to lose constantly. Major events will continue this weekend as scheduled in Chicago. Blah, 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 blah. Not intimidated, and no one should be. Baltimore Governor Wes Moore and Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott have been discussing what kinds of legal action they can take against Trump administration if troops are deployed in the city. I think that's too late. They don't respect law. Remember I told you there is no law. There are no rules anymore. They won't care that you sue them. They don't care. They will just disregard what the court says. And then you'll sue them, and then they won't do anything about it. The DOJ won't pick it up. What happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. This is Democrat weakness again. When the fascists are harming you, you can't stop them with a lawsuit. Doesn't fucking work. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Literally put the state police in front of them and tell them, do not cross this line. Is that a civil war? Yes, because that's where we are. The idiots like Tim Pool have been claiming that there's a civil war coming, and he's not entirely wrong. He's backward in everything he thinks is incorrect, but he thinks it's going to happen as violence from the left. The fuck are you talking about? The left can't even agree on who to vote for. The violence is coming from the right, as it always does. The violence is coming from the right-wing president who hired a bunch of fascists and is surrounded by Nazis and is taking over cities by force with guns. That's where the violence is coming from. The violence that was against the civil rights protesters came from the cops who were right-wing. The violence for the Vietnam protesters came from the government. The violence towards the BLM protesters comes from the government. The violence that kicked off the BLM protest was from the government. It's from the police doing violence against the people. The violence is coming from the right. And that will lead the left to either accept that violence and take it and lose, or draw a line and not let them cross it. And that's what I think these states ought to do. But that's a civil war. So that's where we are in the country, is they ought to, and I hope they do, literally prevent them from coming in. You will see them coming. Put a put the state police in the road and say, you are not allowed within the state. You are the Ohio National Guard. You are not allowed to come into Maryland. You are the Louisiana National Guard. You are not allowed in Illinois. Because think of it from that direction. Think of it from the other direction. The state of Illinois is against its will having Ohio National Guard stand on its streets. Doesn't that sound like an invasion? Doesn't that sound like occupation within a war? Sounds like it to me. Because that is what the Civil War is. That's what a Civil War is different states within the country fighting each other. And that is what's going to happen because Donald Trump wants it to happen. He is a bad person doing bad things to cement his own power and become more powerful, more rich, and more wealthy, and more powerful than he already is. He is a fascist, and he is harming my country, and I don't fucking like it. New Orleans, people protesting violence are met with violence and get told they are violent whether they fight back or not. Yeah, absolutely. And that is the fascist playbook. That is part of their goal. That is part of Donnie's goal here. Send troops from Ohio into Illinois, and then if they even get a little bit of pushback or any sandwiches thrown at them, you sue them and call them violent. The sandwich thrower is a super violent guy. You make a cool video arresting him. You throw the entire book at him, and then you put him in jail, and then you build on that. And you tell your MAGA faithful idiots that you're saving them. You're making their lives better. And for the MAGA people, they feel better. Prices of everything in the economy are going to go up. They'll lose rights too, but they won't use those rights. You see, the MAGA faithful don't use the right to marry someone of the same sex. They don't use that right. So they don't care if you lose it. They don't need it. I don't need an abortion. So I don't care if you lose that right. Fuck you. Who are you? I don't give a shit. That is conservatism right there. Get mine and defend mine and attack everyone else who isn't conservative. Be conservative or suffer. That is the plan. That is what they do. Be on the Donald Trump's side of the violence or you will suffer. Be on board for National Guard from Ohio to go into Illinois, or else you will be harmed by them or by the National Guard when it comes to your state. And maybe even lawsuits. We're coming to a moment when I will be sued for the words that I am telling you. I'm very unimportant, and I have a whopping 6 viewers right now. I know that. But somebody who is also saying the things I am to a much larger audience is going to get sued. That's coming. That is on its way. And they will tell you they have the authority to do so. And we will all lose our rights. And there is nothing you can sue the government about anymore. You can't sue them to have your rights back. Won't work. They'll ignore the courts. They're already ignoring the courts, and then even if they don't ignore the courts, it'll go all the way up to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court will bend over backward to give Donnie what he wants, because that is the only rule, that is the only law, and they know it. And they want that shit, because then they get more bribes, they get more power, they get more authority. And then I think the Supreme Court is also playing a game right now. Donnie wants the power. The Supreme Court also wants a lot of the power, and what they're going to do, if they're ballsy enough, is pick and choose which of his ideas get approved. It's nothing to do with the Constitution. That shit's gone. That's nerd shit. They don't care. Abandoned. The Supreme Court, the conservatives on the Supreme Court, abandoned the Constitution a long time ago. Most conservatives have. They don't care. That's nerd shit. They get it out. So they just want their own power, their own authority, their own idea of what conservatism is. It's just making people suffer. So they will do that. The Supreme Court will be the high priests of Donald Trump. And when they disagree with him, and it benefits them to disagree with him, they will, and they'll push back on him a little bit, and then he will harm them. They serve for life, so they have to hedge their bets. Well, if they push against him, he will harm them. He will replace them. He will put someone else on there. He'll fucking choose Judge Jeanine Pirro to be on the fucking Supreme Court, and she'll do everything he says, and he will. And then they'll sue. They'll be like, no, you can't add another person. He'll do it anyway, and she'll show up. And when they push her out, they'll get attacked physically, violently. Because that is the end state of all conservative political disagreement. Violence. The violence is coming. A lot of it's already here, but it's going to get worse before they go away, before they lose. Lots of violence is on its way. Lots of it. And I'm not happy about that. And it's going to come from the fascists in charge. It's going to come from Donald Trump. It's going to come from the people on the right. And they'll punch you in the face and tell you to stop hurting them. And that's exactly what we were talking about. They'll punch you in the face and tell you you're violent. I'm going to close some of these links. If you're paying attention, hop in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Going over to the Discord, which might exist somewhere, and tell me what's going on. Tell me how you feeling. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Living in hell. Trump hints Portland could be the next city to see the National Guard on the streets, because Portland is a city, and cities are nightmare places, according to conservatives. They hate the cities. They're terrified of cities. President Donald Trump on Friday said Portland could be one of the next cities he'll target with the National Guard troops. When asked for a press briefing, if he decided on which city would deploy troops next, the president said that while he has made it, God, this is so poorly written, he has not prepared to share his plans. Then he referenced TV report he saw on Thursday about ongoing protests against U.S. immigration and customs enforcement in Portland. Portland, it's unbelievable what's going on in Portland. The destruction of the city. I'm going to look at it now. The story showed a resident of an apartment near the ICE building complaining about lost sleep and frustration due to noisy protests. It also claimed that Portland's police are refusing to respond to assaults associated with those protests. We'll be able to stop that very easily by harming the protesters. That right that you have to protest, according to the First Amendment, told you, the Constitution is gone. That doesn't matter anymore. Donnie feels like you're a threat to him. Donnie doesn't like what you are protesting, so he will use the power of the state to hurt you. If Donnie doesn't like what you say, he will use the power of the government to hurt you. If that means lawsuits that bankrupt you, so be it. If that means you actually have to be hurt by the military, that's what he'll do. Because he is an authoritarian fascist. He wants to hurt the people who don't agree with him. He will use the power of the state to hurt the people who aren't conservative and on his team. Los Angeles Guard was also joined the U.S. Marines early June, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we remember all this. We remember all that. Okay. But yeah, Portland is a place where a lot of people are protesting. The entire city isn't on fire. They're liars. There's like 4 blocks downtown where a protest keeps happening and popping up pretty often. And that's it. Does it suck to be there? Yeah, I know. Protests are supposed to be disruptive. They're supposed to suck. You're not supposed to have a good time when the people are protesting. That guy who can't sleep needs to call his state representative and his mayor and say, hey, make the changes to make the people stop protesting. That's what he needs to do. But he's not going to do that. He's going to blame the protesters, so you're going to support Donald Trump when he shoots them. Look at this cute little doggy. Not everything is terrible. Look at that doggy. Look at him. He's adorable, isn't he? Little puppy dog. He's got a duck toy. See this little toy? It makes duck sounds. And he loves it. Let me grab it. We're going to take a Bobo Bark Boy break. He loves this little duck. He loves to kill it. It sounds like a dying animal, which makes him love it. Say hi to the people, Bo. Tell them that you are a bark boy. and that you bark a lot. All day, all night, nonstop. Bark, 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 boy. Okay. I will throw it for you. So that's Bobo, the baby bark boy. You can find more photos of him on the Bobo, the baby bark boy channel. It's in the Discord. Go on over to the Discord, which you can see in chat, but you can't see right there. It's a thing. I'll fix it later. And you can see photos of him and little videos. And then what you could do, if you really are nuts, like KBP does sometimes, you Photoshop him in funny places or doing funny things. And then you post it in there, and then everybody sees it, and we all have a good time. It's a community thing. It's a good time. Go on over there. And then let's see. What the hell else is on the news today? Oh, yeah, the economy's falling apart. I don't know if you noticed this, but yeah, the economy's gone to shit, and it's going to get worse. Let me turn this light down a little bit. That's better. Okay. So yeah, the economy's going to shit, and we all knew that was going to happen. Hot Mike Mark Zuckerberg talks about the numbers being lies, so this is fun. Zuckerberg was at the White House because that's how government operates now. Is it just brings... So Donnie does extortion, and if you own a large business and you don't want to be harmed, you have to go to the White House and kiss his ass and make him feel good. And then he will stop extorting you. Or you have to give him something. Tim Apple, we all know he gave Donnie that big golden phone because Donnie's a moron and thinks that golden phones are more important than regular phones and better. And so he then dropped the tariffs for the Apple company. Mark Zuckerberg here, also kissing the ass, is going to...
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28.
That's how much his company is going to spend. They are a gigantic company. That's fine. They always spend. Donnie is going to lie to the idiots that listen to him and tell them that he made $600 billion for them. That's not how the economy works. That's not how numbers work. That's not how spending works.
In the U.S.? Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
That's a lot. Thank you, Mark. It's great to have you.
Later, they caught him on the hot mics, and he says...
I wasn't ready to do a for announcement.
He said I wasn't
sure what number you wanted to go with.
I wasn't sure what number you wanted to go with. Because the numbers are fake. They don't matter. They're not real. They're imaginary. This is what I've been telling you about the economy for fucking years. The economy is imaginary. We all just make that shit up. It's like little kids playing fucking cowboys and Indians. Pew, 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 I got you. No, you missed me. Pew, pew, pew. That's exactly what the economy is. Children pretending to shoot each other, and then other ones lying about not getting shot. The economy is based on feelings. Donald Trump got a very important businessman to say some bullshit so that he can take that bullshit, repackage it, and lie to his fans. He will lie to them and tell them that he made $600 billion for the country. It's not true. None of it makes any sense, but it doesn't matter. His children, the baby-brained MAGA faithful, don't need to understand how the economy works. They need confidence. And they're getting it from Donald Trump, the confidence man. He makes them feel good. Then he robs them. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Zuckerberg doesn't give a fuck. He's going to do whatever his company is going to do. Is the $600 billion include plants they're going to build? Sure. Does it include money they're going to spend on advertising? Sure. Does it include paychecks to the people who work at their company? Yeah, sure. Does it include his Mark Zuckerberg's payment, his compensation plan? Yes. So the number doesn't matter. The number is imaginary. They made it up. He just said, here's our revenue, here's our spending for the year. And he did it next to Donald Trump, and that makes him happy. And if you make him happy, he will cut your tariffs. He'll cut down the amount of suffering that the government does to you. If you run a company and you say, no, I'm not going to do what Donald Trump says, I'm going to do what's best for my company, you will be harmed. If you say, I love Donald Trump, here's the $10 bajillion that we're going to spend, and that's a lie, and you just do what you were going to do in the first place, you don't suffer. Lying to Donald Trump to give him some bullshit to feed his constituents is the winning play. Doesn't have to be true. Doesn't have to be real. Just go there, kiss the ass, and then you won't suffer. This is extortion, because that is the only actual politics that Donald Trump has. Give me what I want or I will hurt you. Give me a cool video sitting next to me and saying how much money the Americans are going to get. Doesn't have to be real. Doesn't have to be true. Make up the numbers. He doesn't give a shit. Give him what he wants, and he won't hurt you. Extortion. It's very simple. Apt metaphor, thank you. I made it up on the spot. And when the economy crashes, they will blame Biden. What you see is absolutely correct. When it fails, when things go wrong, they will blame Joe Biden. They will blame his inflation. They'll blame Jerome Powell, which is what they're doing now with the latest numbers. So let's keep looking at the economy numbers, because those are happening. Here we go. This economist, who I don't trust. I don't trust any economist. Nothing against you, Justin Wolfers, but I don't trust any economist. The job market continues to slow, and it's pretty dramatic, keeping our head above water for now. Job growth was only 22,000. July revised up. June was revised down by 27,000 to negative 13. Average job growth over 3 months is plus 29. Unemployment rose to 4.3. This is not a good number. This is a bad number. Here's some charts. Good, bad. What happened in 2021? COVID. Then things came back. Good, medium, suck. Why does it suck? Because Donald Trump took over. Because he does not know how the economy works. He's lying to people. He's imagining things. He's doing tariffs sometimes, and sometimes he's not. And he's just extorting everybody for his own benefit. Not for your benefit, not to help these job numbers, not to make these numbers go up. He's extorting everybody for his benefit, to make himself more powerful, to make himself more important, and give himself more power over the entire country. Let's listen to Lutnick, who lies his ass off.
Through how this kind of played out and what the specific details are in this agreement.
All right, so the Japanese, in order to buy down their tariff rate, so they have to
buy down the tariff rate. This is the extortion that I told you about. Donald Trump puts these stupid fucking tariffs on the American people, and all tariffs are a tax on the American people. Any tariff that Donnie puts in is a tax on you, the American. And the Japanese worry, the Japanese companies, not the Japanese government. So a bribe. Yes, a bribe. That's how extortion works. So the Japanese companies decide that if the American people have to pay that tax, they will buy less of the Japanese companies' products. So they need the American government to stop doing that tax. So they bribe them. They make a promise to give Donnie a bunch of money.
25% rate, and to buy down that rate, they have given President Trump $550 billion for President Trump to direct where and how he wants it invested in America.
None of that is true. They did not give Donald Trump $550 billion. That's stupid. They did not do that. No one has done that. But it doesn't matter. The MAGA chuds who love Donald Trump hear that and think it's true and think it's great. The Japanese government just gave Donald Trump $550 billion. It's not true. Didn't happen. And even if it did, Donnie would just keep most of it. But they hear it. Reality has abandoned. The conservatives have abandoned reality. They don't need. I told you that the economy is based on feelings anyway. So they just make up the feelings. They just make the conservative people feel like they're doing a good job. It doesn't have to be real. Where is this $550 billion? Is there a receipt? Is there a document with that you can find where the stuff is? Did you follow the money? At best, it's like Japanese companies saying they're going to hire Americans or build a plant in America, which also doesn't help Americans. It might give some people some jobs, but it's not giving a fat stack of $550 billion to President Trump. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense. It's not fucking real.
And if you think about that, that's 0.5% of GDP growth per year for the rest of his term, given to Donald Trump by the Japanese in order to build in America for our national and economic security.
None of this happened. None of this is going to happen. It will not exist. They said it to kiss his ass.
It is just the most fun working for Donald Trump. I mean, this deal is off the rails.
This deal is off the rails. Off the rails is bad, Lutnick. You don't even know how fucking English language works. How are you going to work the economy? Off the rails is a bad thing. Off the rails means everything's falling apart. The only benefit, according to most people, of fascist government is that the goddamn trains run on time. Not if they're off the rails. Lutnick, you motherfucking idiot. Christ almighty, we are being run by morons. Actual, literal fucking dipshits. Not literal dipshits. Actual fucking dipshits. Idiots who don't know how words work are running your economy. Straight into the ground. And let's see some more horrible news. Here's some more. Here he is again saying, wait, no, is this the same one? This is the same one. I thought I had another one over. Here he is. This
is of numbers, though, that come out of a group like BLS. What the American public, what the world public, the CEOs in America, the Fed, anybody who's making decisions on these numbers, actually, they don't want someone who's there to win. They just want somebody who's there going to give them the most accurate, timely numbers that possibly exist. Just accuracy is probably the only thing that they want.
So he's talking about the job numbers because the conservatives have been lying about the job numbers. The job numbers people put out the numbers, but the Republicans don't like those numbers, which means that they're fake numbers. That's not how that works. Counting is done by the government, and then Donnie, the politician, politicizes those numbers by saying those are fake numbers. Those are Democrat numbers. Those are Democrat people who counted all that numbers. They do this on purpose to make me look bad. Either the people who count are counting bad intentionally to hurt Donald Trump, or Republicans are bad at the economy. I think it's that second one, but they have this bullshit. They have pulled the wool over most Americans' eyes. Most Americans actually think that the Republicans are better on the economy. They're not. They never have been. But because right-wing media runs with that idea and tells the morons that they are, and nobody really understands how the economy works, not even Lutnick, not this guy. This guy from CNBC also doesn't know how the economy works. The economy is more like a horse. Okay, follow me here. More analogies, more metaphors. We're all on the back of a horse. Okay, and there are some people, like this guy right here on CNBC, who knows how to pull the rein to make the horse go a certain direction. He does. He can pull that rein to make the horse go a different direction. There are people who want to pull the rein the other direction, to go the other direction. But none of us know what the horse is thinking. None of us are horses. We don't know what the horse is thinking. And that's what the economy, that's the metaphor I've been working on for the economy. We're all on board for this fucking economy. You're in it, whether you fucking like it or not. You're on the back of this fucking economy. And some people can lead it a certain direction. Some people comprehend how to poke it in the ribs to make it go a certain direction, to make it do a certain thing that they want it to do because it benefits them monetarily, makes them better. But nobody understands it. Nobody knows what it's thinking. Nobody can control it if it really gets out of hand. If a horse gets fucking spooked, you can't stop it. If the economy gets spooked, you can't stop it. There are some people who can try and they can do some actions that might have a result. The actions that they take might lead to a result of it calming down. But nobody's really in control of it. It has a mind of its own. And that's why I tell them that it's not controllable. They don't actually control this shit. They're standing on the back of the horse saying that I'm control, but it really does have the control. It weighs more than you. It's bigger than you. The economy is bigger than you. The horse is bigger than you. If it doesn't want to do what you want it to do, it won't. But let's go on. What does Lutnick have to say?
What I'm asking is today, when we see those numbers, whether we should believe they're accurate.
Because we fired all the statisticians. We fired all the people who did the counting and replaced them with Donald Trump counters. And the Donald Trump counters are going to lie to you because it makes Donald Trump happy. There are no rules. Only one law, make Donnie happy.
I think they'll get better because he'll take out the people who are just trying to create noise against the president.
He's blatantly lying. He says that used to be, all those numbers used to be lies, but now that we put Trump people in charge, they won't be lies. Boss, I don't trust any conservative.
Take out the people trying to create noise. Let's get the accurate numbers because this is going to be the greatest growth economy, right? 6 months from now, a year from today, as these trillions of dollars of plants.
That's what he said 6 fucking months ago. I thought I saw another link, but that's what he said 6 months ago. 6 months ago, that's what he said. He said that today the economy was going to be great. 6 months ago, he said that we would be great.
Tariffs have anything to do with this slowing job market?
Tariffs are working. I've been on the road.
Tariffs are working. No, man, they're not. Most of them aren't even being collected. We only started collecting them recently, and they've been causing chaos. Remember this one right back here? Where did it go? This one, see how things are going bad? Because they're not working. Because they're insane, and they don't make any sense.
As you know, in 32 states out of my 50-state tour, tariffs are working. How do I know this? Because companies are reinvesting in the American workforce.
No, they're
We're
not.
seeing the consumer confidence up. We're seeing real wages up year over year.
It's not.
Almost 4% real wages are up.
No,
Blue
it's
collar
not.
boom, I talk about it. It seems like something that is rhetoric, but it's not because that's what we're seeing on the ground. Blue collar wages are up 1.4%. Unemployment is still holding steady. Statistically, it's non-existent.
Statistically, unemployment is non-existent. It's 4%. Not non-existent. 4%. 4%. They'll just lie right to your face. Economists can't be trusted. They lie constantly, especially conservative economists. Lie all day, every day. And there's nothing we can do about it. Stop fucking putting them on TV. Stop allowing this. Here's another giant fat fucking liar.
We are going to have a big jobs report coming out, the August jobs report, in a little over, who knows what time it is anymore. It's 1:00 on CNN News Central. It will be coming out shortly, and we will bring it to everyone. When it does, are you going to believe the numbers?
I'm gonna look at the numbers. Look,
are you going to believe the numbers? Was the question. He said, I'm going to look at them, and he's going to have some feelings. This is the conservatism that I told you about. This is what I told you. Oops, wrong button. This is the conservatism that I told you about. He's going to see the thing, he's going to react to the thing, and then he will invent facts, and he will cherry pick facts that support his feelings. Over 10 million people, if my math is right, that's basically nothing, right? Yeah, Valor, that's statistically nothing. That's nothing. That's no one. That's nothing. That's zero. Might as well be fucking zero. It's 4%. Ah. Giant super liars. So this guy is going to see the numbers, have a feeling. He's going to react to them the way a YouTube reactor reacts to anime or the latest viral video. He's going to determine if this is good for his team or bad for his team. If it's bad for his team, he's going to go find a different fact, or he's going to make up a different fact, and he's going to lie about it. He's going to cherry pick data and construct lies to make it better for his team. This is conservatism. You're seeing it in action right now.
Look, the people who put these numbers together are human and they're fallible and they make mistakes. And if you go back and you look how these numbers always get put out and then they always get changed later.
It wasn't that they make mistakes. The reason that the president kicked out the commissioner of Bureau of Labor Statistics was he said that they were faking it. They were cooking the books, which there's no evidence of that. So
there's no evidence for the thing that Donald Trump said because he's a liar. He didn't like the numbers. These people weren't doing conservatism, so they were removed. They are punished. They are suffering, and they are taken away from the job that they had, counting the numbers, because they didn't count in a conservative way. Conservative math. Conservative math. All 2 plus 2 is 4 in conservative math if Donnie wants it to be. If Donald Trump needs 2 plus 2 to be 5, it fucking is. Okay? If he needs 10 million people to be 0, it is. If he needs 4% to be nothing, it is. This is conservative math, and it will wreck the actual economy. It will ruin all of the things. It's going to destroy us. Conservative math will be the downfall of the American economy. Because conservative math is nonsense. It's not real. It's belief. It's feelings. It's imaginary.
So do you think
when the numbers are always wrong in one direction, you have reason to be suspect. And so
I am suspect of you and your party and the things that you do. Either all the number people are lying to you, or Republicans are bad at the economy. I think it's the second one. And he refuses to accept that because he's been told that the Republicans are the good ones on the economy.
No
I understand that. What I can tell you is...
It's when more of the businesses respond and give the information and submit and respond to the ask from the Labor Department, then they can adjust what they have. It's like, I get more information, we can adjust the numbers.
She's asking for evidence, counting, numbers, receipts. Facts. And he is dismissing all of those facts for his feelings that it feels unfair. It feels to him as if the numbers are on the Democrats' side. And that feels bad. So he's going to dismiss the numbers. He's going to ignore the facts for his feelings. Conservatives, and I've been talking about the facts over feelings shit for the past couple of weeks because it is the greatest lie the conservatives have ever told. It's the greatest lie they've ever told. It has convinced millions upon millions of Americans to disregard their feelings. It has convinced them to ignore certain facts and cherry pick their stuff. Conservatism has told one great lie, and it is that facts over feelings. They are the party of facts over feelings. That is the biggest fucking lie that they have ever told anybody anywhere ever. And lots of Americans still believe it. And that is why we cannot get out of this mess. That's why we cannot drag ourselves out of this mess. That's why we cannot vote for Democrats to get us out of this mess. And that's why the Democrats can't communicate to you what the problem is. They don't know what the problem is. The problem is that the conservatives have told us a lie, big one, that they are the party of facts over feelings. It's not true. It's never been true. All politics are based on feelings, and everyone is terrified to say that. The only person that says it. Everybody else is terrified of that idea. Even Democrats are terrified that their stances, their positions, their entire ideology is based on feelings. They're terrified of that because they're weak. It actually takes courage, which is another feeling, to let people know, I have feelings. I want Americans to be free. I want them to feel freedom. I feel like it's good to have Americans with freedom. That takes courage, and they're scared of it. They would rather base that shit on facts. The conservatives do it all the time. Fact. 2 dudes can't have a baby. Yeah, that doesn't mean you make gay marriage illegal. That's insane. That doesn't track. And then they'll cherry pick the facts. They'll cherry pick. They're doing it with the trans people right now. 1% of mass shooters in America are trans. And that's a fact. But instead of recognizing the other 99%, they want to fix that 1%. They cherry pick the fact that the last mass shooter was a trans person, and the 5 or 6 mass shooters ago was also a trans person. Forget the 5 or 6 in between. Just shut the fuck up. We need to ban guns for trans people. Feelings over facts is what all conservatives do, all Democrats, all the people do that. We all start from feelings. We all see a thing. We react to it, and then we measure it. We weigh it. If you're smart, you measure and weigh it, and you determine if it's right, if it's wrong, if it's bad, if it's good, what it does and what it is. Conservatives are lying about their thought processes. And because they're lying about their thought processes, they get to tell you that they're good on the economy. They get to tell you on CNN that the people who do the counting are liberal Dems, and they're doing a bad job intentionally to hurt Donald Trump. It's insane. They're liars. Stop letting them lie on TV. This lady's doing a good job. She's doing a good job. She's bringing the facts, the receipts, the information. She's demanding evidence, and this guy is giving her feels. That's all. She's the reals, he's the feels. And that's why it's so difficult to explain. The Dems also want to be the fact-based people. Everybody wants to say that their entire political career is based on facts, and it's not. It's just not. No politics is based on facts. You can find the facts. You can have a feeling, then you can go look for facts. Great. Fine. But the feelings are first. Why would you? Motivation is the first thing that you have. You have a motivation to go find out something political. We talked about oil earlier. I saw a story. Hey, we might be invading Venezuela. Why did we do that? We felt the motivation to go and find out. And then we found some facts. Venezuela has fuckloads of oil. And now we can see the motivation of the Trump administration. Their motivation, their feeling, is that if they have that oil, they will be more secure. Feelings of fear lead you to attack other people. Feelings of inadequacy lead you to be defensive. Feelings of unease will lead you to kick all the immigrants out. All politics are based on feelings, always have been. And did I talk about the boat? Yeah, a little bit earlier. What you see is I talked about the boat. Pete Hegseth says he has the ability to blow up the boat. It probably was a drug boat, but because he doesn't do pansy ass weak-kneed interdictions with the Coast Guard or the Navy, that's weak sauce. He blew him up with a fucking Tomahawk missile because he's hoorah super badass. He runs the Department of War now, and he has all the authority that he could ever want. But yeah, I did talk about that at the beginning stream. That's enough about the imaginary fake economy. All right, let's do some smaller stories, some silly stuff. Eric Adams caught meeting with top Trump advisor after vehement denial of job offer. So what is this? This is the guy who's running poorly for New York City mayor. He is the New York mayor right now. He was caught and convicted of corruption charges, but Donald Trump pardoned him. Why did Donald Trump do that for a Democrat? Because he wants to extort him. This is extortion. Donnie only knows extortion. This Democrat got in trouble for corruption. Pardon him. Then, if he ever talks back to you, if he ever says no to Donald Trump moving troops into New York City, you get to investigate him. You get to send the DOJ to dig through every single thing he's ever owned. The DOJ shows up at his fucking house with for a raid. The DOJ raids his house if he ever talks back to Donald Trump. That is why Donald Trump wants him to win, because he has power and authority over him, and he knows it, and this guy knows it. The people don't like that. He is losing his election right now to a leftist, Zoran Mamdani, which is great for me, great for you, great for the people in the city, whether they know it or not. They're stupid. Most people are. So they don't know that the left-leaning option is the better option. So why are they offering him a job? So he will bow out. So he will drop out. Because guess who else is running? Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo is also running. Is it Andrew or is it? Yeah, I think it's Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo is also running, and he is also losing. Sliwa, a piece of shit, is also running and also losing. So if those three guys, and the Trump administration has offered jobs to everybody but Cuomo. They've offered a job to Adams. They've offered a job to Sliwa, and they want them to bow out, to give up, so that all those votes go to Cuomo, so that Cuomo wins and not Zoran Mamdani, because they are terrified of leftists coming in and doing good things for people, because then the people will notice that the good things are coming from the left-leaning person, and then they will move left. They're terrified of this. They cannot allow it. So they will get in bed with a middle-of-the-road fucking neo-lib like Cuomo. That's exactly what's happening. And then Cuomo also got chased out of it. He had to give up on being the governor of New York because he was sexually harassing women. Donnie knows that, and he will use it to extort him. He will use that as power and authority over Mr. Cuomo. He will use it as a bludgeon. Anytime Cuomo says, no, Trump, you can't do that, Donald Trump will open the investigation again. He will threaten him. He will tell you that he's a sexual predator and that the DOJ is coming in hot to raid his house. And then he will have to defend himself against that. Stop hiring bad people. And then the right wing won't be able to fucking extort them. Zoran Mamdani is winning. And he will win, even if it's just against Cuomo. He doesn't have the horrible baggage that Cuomo has. He doesn't have the pardon that Adams has. But they don't, and they can't, they've been inventing horseshit lies about him for, not even lies, but like over exaggeration. He moved a table when he was in college one time to play beer pong. And they ran a whole fucking story in the New York Times about that shit. They were like, he stole a table. Dun, dun, dun. He was in college. He moved a table from one place to another and they didn't have permission. Fuck off. The other guy in the race sexually harassed women, and the other guy is guilty of corruption charges and got a pardon from the Republican president. Fuck off. It's a joke, is what it is. They are terrified of him doing good things for good people, because then the people have power, the people have more money, and the corporations lose it. And the right wing loses power as the people gain it. They cannot allow that. That is why they're all against him. That is why they're all against leftism. That's why they hate left-leaning people. Did that at a bar once, so I stole a table. Yes, Shinsinto, that table that you moved without permission at the TGI Fridays, where you sat down and you pushed those two tables together, that was fucking illegal. You stole that table. They really did move it from one building to his other building. So they just moved it. And because I read about it, and that's it. Oh my God, that's the reason we can't ever vote for him. Fuck off with your nonsense. New York Times and people who hate him for no reason. They would prefer to have a sex pest. They would prefer to have a sexual harasser. They would prefer to have a corrupt person who's guilty of corruption and got a pardon from Donald Trump. They would prefer that to a leftist because they can control that. That is normal for them. The neocon to neo-lib back and forth is good for the people in that bubble. It's good for them. They like that. They understand that. They know what's coming. They won't do things. They don't do things. The neolibs and the neocons try real fucking hard not to do anything. I've said this about Congress before, but it's the neocon neolib thing. They don't want to do anything. Both of those people, and that's not MAGA. MAGA is further to the right than the neocons. The neocons and the neolibs are the two legs of they're the uniparty, is what I'm telling you. They're the uniparty. The neocons and the neolibs are the uniparty. The MAGA is outside that uniparty. The leftists are outside that uniparty. But the uniparty mostly wins. Sometimes you get your leftists out of nowhere, like Bernie and AOC and Zoran, and then you get your hard, crazy right person, like Maytag, like what's that other crazy bitch's name? I forget her name. She got to where she is through DEI. I don't remember. Brown-headed lady, I don't remember her name. Anywho, you get your hard right-wing people like Trump who are MAGA. They get something, but they're outside the uniparty. What the hell was I talking about? I've lost my train of thought. I don't remember where I was now. But yeah, so this is going to just, why is Donald Trump giving them jobs? So he can threaten them, so that he can extort them. More extortion, more extortion, more extortion. Nonstop. Never stop extorting people. It's the Donald Trump playbook. I'm going to put my hat on for this one. Let's put the hat on. Let's do hats. There we go. We got our tinfoil hat on for this one because this is a DOJ Deputy Chief Joseph Schnitt admitted that the government will redact every Republican and leave the liberal Democrat people on the Epstein client list. He also said Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to the minimum security prison as a benefit to keep her mouth shut. Let's listen.
Those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep her mouth shut.
And what do you do for work again?
I work for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Been there like 23 years. I'm an analyst. I'll be acting deputy chief of our office for a few months starting next week. I work closely with all the federal law enforcement agencies and the U.S. attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The thing is, it's interesting because I do deal with so many of the agencies, like the Bureau of Prisons, the Marshal Service, the FBI, U.S. attorney's offices.
Those files do exist.
So, why do I have my hat on? Well, one, that guy is inside. He's a deep state. He's been there for 23 years, folks. He's part of the deep state. He's been there for 23 years, people. Listen, that's part of the deep state. He was there all through Bush 1, and he was there through George Bush Jr. and Obama and Biden and Trump #1, and now he's still there in Trump #2. He's part of the deep state. So, easy part of the deep state. Yes, the deep state is not something to be afraid of. It's normal. What he's saying is common. I have said exactly those same things. I have suggested that they will remove all of the Republicans and all the Republican donors from the Epstein files, then release them with all the Democrats. I've said that. I don't work for the DOJ, but I can assume that they're going to do that. And then he said that Maxwell got moved as a benefit to shut her mouth. And I've said that. The hat is falling apart. I've suggested those things. And he didn't release any information in this 1-minute video, which is cobbled together and cut and paste from a date he's on. Why is he going on a date with somebody with a secret camera? Well, that's because James O'Keefe is involved. James O'Keefe is a liar and a criminal and should not be trusted. I can't even read it anymore. Son of a bitch. I read this earlier. But this comes from James O'Keefe, who is not to be trusted. James O'Keefe has a bad habit and a history of manipulative interviews, lying sources, lying to get the information, and lying about what they've said, and manipulative editing. So don't go nuts on this one yet. It is a guy telling you his opinion who also works for the DOJ. Is it a little bit more credible than Waldo telling you those things? Waldo doesn't work at the DOJ. Is it more legitimate that he's saying it? Yeah, a little bit. But also, if he doesn't work in those specific areas, he doesn't know anything. He didn't say anything that I didn't already assume. He isn't giving you bombshell information here. He's giving you what he reads on the fucking news, which is what I do. This guy doesn't know anything. He doesn't know if the things he's saying are true or guesses. He's guesstimating and giving you his opinion, which is what I do all the time. So this isn't to cover up. The source is James O'Keefe, who is not to be trusted. So don't go nuts on this one. Don't post this and fucking everywhere and as proof. It's not proof. This is nothing but jibber jabber. This is not proof. This is not evidence of a conspiracy. This is nothing. It's one guy telling you his opinion, which is what you're doing, which is what I'm doing, which is what we all do. So, yep. Don't get trapped. Don't get tricked with something that you want to be true. Because to be a good skeptic, to be a good leftist, you have to recognize when something sounds too good to be true. You have to look at it objectively, recognize where your biases are. My biases are, hey, he said a bunch of shit that already agreed with me, and he works at the DOJ. But did he say anything really? Did he move any sort of evidence? Has he got anything about this? No, there's nothing there. And here is, since we're talking about Epstein, the lie that the conservatives are going to go for. Donald Trump was an FBI informant on Jeffrey Epstein, says Mike Johnson. This is the lie that they will push to get him out of trouble. They took the month off of August, which they usually do, the Congress and the House and stuff like that. They take August off. They're supposed to go talk to their constituents, but they don't. They go on vacation and they do a town hall where they get sound bites for the next election. A lot of that, a lot of those people were flooded, or a lot of them didn't do town halls or talk to their constituents at all because their constituents don't like them anymore. But they don't need that shit. After 2026, there may not be any more elections. Well, there won't be fair elections. They'll be rigged by the right wing to benefit the right wing. Anyway, the hell was I talking about? Yeah. This is the lie that they're all going to push. Donald Trump was an FBI informant on Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he's in those files. Okay. But it's because he was secretly undercover to capture the pedophiles. You see, Donald wasn't there participating. No. He was there as an undercover sting agent. And it sounds cool. The Republicans need confidence for their cons. This is the confidence. This is the con. This is Mike Johnson telling you something that makes you feel better about the fact that Donald was at these parties with the known sex trafficker. And even if he did some dangerous things, some things that might seem immoral, it was because he had to. You know, like it's that movie Training Day. You know, like the cop doesn't want to do the drugs. Have you ever seen that movie? It's a good movie, but The cop is like, dude, I can't do the drugs. And then they said, okay, well, and then the older undercover cop is like, that's how they know you're a cop. You have to do the drugs. That was Donnie. You see, Donnie was the young man from Training Day. He had to do the drugs. He had to do all those crimes. He had to do all these immoral things so that everyone would see that he's a part of the group, and then he can turn them in. He did kids to get to Epstein. Exactly, man. That's the point. He was undercover. He couldn't pretend to do it. He had to actually do it so that they would accept him, so that they would know he's one of them, and then show him all the secrets, and then he can turn it into the FBI. And that's the lie they're going to tell you. That's the lie they're going to run with. That is now the new line on Epstein. Be prepared over the next couple of months to hear every Republican repeat that line. Donald Trump was undercover, hidden, turning them in. He was running a sting operation. He was the FBI informant that brought Jeffrey Epstein down. Won't be true, and there won't be any evidence, but they'll say it. They'll look into the camera and tell you that it's true. And the MAGA fans will love it. They will be happy with this idea. They will revel in finally having the excuse that they've always wanted. They've wanted this excuse for a very long time. They've been dying for it. They've been begging for it. They want the bullshit. Please, somebody give the Republicans the bullshit they need. They need that tasty, tasty, delicious bullshit. And they weren't getting it. Mike Johnson has found it. And there it is. That's the delicious bullshit that they are all going to regurgitate, tell each other, and make them all feel better about it. And you'll have to discredit it. And I'll have to tell you that it's a fucking lie. Because they're fucking liars. And it won't work. Well, it might work. My telling you the truth won't work. Because reality tastes like shit. Bullshit is delicious. The people who want this to be true will tell you that it's true, and they will feel like it's true, and they will believe that it is true. Doesn't matter what the evidence says. They will believe it. Because of their feelings. They will ignore the facts. They will ignore the facts that he was friends with Epstein. They'll ignore all the evidence. They'll ignore the fact that the FBI didn't really have any record of him being an informant. They'll ignore that fact. They will cherry pick the facts that help them get to the conclusion that they would like to be at, which is Donald Trump is great and awesome and amazing, and the emperor, and everything he says is true, and everything he says makes me feel good, which is why he's allowed to break all the laws. And if he does it, it is the law, you see. When the president breaks the law, it's okay. And whatever the president does say, that is the law. This is what they feel would make their lives better, so they will feel it regardless of facts. So, that is all I have for today. It's about noon anyway. It's about time to call it off for the day. I appreciate everybody who came in. Thank you for sticking around, even though it sucks today and I don't have TTS and most of my stuff doesn't work and I've lost some things. So I'm going to continue to try and make the stream better. If you want to tell me how to make the stream better or what ought to do to make it cooler or better or anything like that, go on over to the Discord. You can see the Discord in chat sometimes, and you can click on it, and you can go there and tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. You can debate with people if you'd like. Pick a topic, start a debate. It doesn't matter. There are people there who want to argue with you. And if you want to really support me, you can go on over to the YouTube, and there's a link there in chat to YouTube. Go over there, press the subscribe button, press the thing. I'm working. That's the next thing I'm going to work on, is getting the robot voice. And the Elon salute. I will get that Elon salute back. Even if I have to create it again from new, I will get the Elon salute back because we cannot forget. We cannot forgive. So we're working on that. And the robot voice should be back by Wednesday. That's the plan anyways, to work on it over this weekend. Pick up all the little things, the little details that I've missed, and set up a sound gate so you don't hear so much dog noise. Was there a lot of dog noise today? I think there was. But I'll have to listen back to the replays and stuff like that when I make the YouTube videos. These might be entirely worthless for YouTube videos if the dog noise is too much. But yeah, that's it for me today. I appreciate everybody who was here. Thank you very much. I love you. And I will be back on Wednesday unless the Gestapo kicks in my door, drags me off to the gulag. Good luck.